Holy hell, what a game, boys. Alright, so basically, I'm just gonna get right into it, not ease into any of this. Leafs kicked Columbus's ass last night. They played a much better game compared to what they played in game 1. They outplayed Columbus in the shot category, in every category. They just dominated the whole game and proved that the game was theirs to win, and they did win it with a 3-0 empty net goal to seal it off. So I'm not gonna go into too much depth about the game just like last time. I'm just gonna give more depth about what I think we did good, what I think we did bad, what I think we can improve on, like all that stuff. And someone whose video I'll put in the description down below is SteveDangles. He goes into a lot more depth about the games, and he made a really good video. I watched it today, right before making this actually. He made a very good video, and I'll put the link down in the description, so if you want more explanation and more depth about the game itself, go check out his video. So basically, first period started, and the Leafs were just all over Columbus in the first 2 shifts, and then it starts to slow down around the 17-minute mark. In comes the 4th line, Kyle Clifford, 2 Stanley Cup rings, like on his fingers basically, comes in, just absolutely rails. I think it was Kukin on the Blue Jackets, just rails him, and some people think it should have been a penalty. You could argue it could have been a charge because it did look like he left his feet, but his feet were still on the ice when the point of contact was made. And I know some people aren't going to understand what that means. If you don't understand fully, leave a comment down below. I'll explain it further, or go check out SteveDangles' video. He explained that very well. So basically, he just rails him, and from that moment on, it was all Leafs. It was the whole Leafs game. They owned the game, had great power play opportunities. Tavares had a million opportunities in front and just couldn't bury. But then, so we just owned the whole first period. Shots are 15-6 in favor of the boys. And yeah, we were just dominating. The puck was ours the whole time. We were drawing penalties like no tomorrow. I was playing a fantastic game. And then second period hits, and things start to slow down. The pace starts to slow down, but the Leafs are still in control. It's like not even fair for the Blue Jackets how well the Leafs are playing and how well they're conquering their strategies. And then a broken play where it catches 3 Columbus guys deep, and Zach Rowensky, a very solid defenseman for the Blue Jackets, gets caught in deep on a rush. I'll show a little example here with Tavares. So he's skating in, they pull a 3-on-2 play. Instead of stopping and going back back to his own end, he made this giant loop around the net, which left a 2-on-1 for Hyman and Matthews. And Hyman just carried it in on the right side, had lots of space, waited. I'll try to do a small example, and then Matthews kind of chopped at the puck and buried it for goal number 1 of the game. And I was watching the game with my brother, and we were so hyped. We knew the game was ours from this point forward. And then things start to slow down a bit. We're still keeping up the intensity. We're dominating the Blue Jackets. They have no chance in this game unless they get a lucky break, is basically how the game was going. Like, I felt so confident in the boys. I wasn't thinking classic choking Leafs. I was thinking like dominating Leafs, like new Leafs, all this kind of stuff. And it did happen. And then in the third period, I can't remember the exact play what happened, but there was just a battle of a defensive shift in our own zone, and somehow 5 Blue Jackets guys all got caught in front and behind the Leafs net, and Travis Dermott sprung John Tavares on a breakaway. Johnny just made a little bit of a move and tucked it between the arm and the body of Corpusalo, and that gave us a 2-0 lead with about 10 minutes left, something. I don't remember the exact point of the game, but came somewhere around those time frames. And then 2-goal lead, like there's no way we were choking this. We'd have to defend the lead, and we were having a great defensive shift. And the 2 defensemen I'm using now, Justin Hall with another fantastic game. Jake Muzzin too, really great game. And about Jake Muzzin too, is we're just dominating the period, and then we take a bad penalty, and then that gets killed off, and then we end up taking another bad penalty. And I don't want to say they're bad penalties, they're just a bad time to take, but I don't really know how I feel about the whole scenario, or what was called about the penalties. And so Jake Muzzin, huge blocked shot, just massive, came in for the team, trying to protect the shit out for Freddie, trying to protect our 2-goal lead late in the game. And then a weird encounter. So Jake Muzzin's behind the net here. He's wheeling around the left side. Pierre-Luc Dubois catches him with a cross check. He falls about right here. And there's a Blue Jackets player standing just above this line. And Muzzin's head and neck just squishes really awkwardly into the Blue Jackets player's leg. And then it was just 10 minutes basically of Jake Muzzin lying on the ice. It was just, the contact didn't look that bad. It was just, and we do have an update. It's that he's not in hospital anymore, but he's going to be taking the rest of the series off for precautions, I believe is what it is. Or he's just taking it off. And it's a day-by-day injury type style. But the contact didn't look that bad. It looked like a regular hockey play, but his neck must have gotten like the bad end of it. And I remember me and my brother were just sitting on the edge of our seats. I was pacing, because Jake Muzzin was like the heart and soul of our defensive core last night. He was blocking shots, throwing hits, having a great game. And he just gets dicked by an injury late in the game. And it was just a tough one to swallow. Positive thing though is while he was on the ice and while in hospital, he was like immediately when he went down, he sat up in this one position. The athletic therapist came out. Sorry, I'm just doing like motions in my hands you can't see. And and then more doctors came out, and he was sitting up in a position, keeping his neck very still, not moving around a lot. And he's moving his hands, like, you know when you open and close them really fast? He was like doing that but slow. He was moving around his wrists, his arms and elbows. So everything was positive in the fact that he wasn't paralyzed, he could move. He was okay. But, and what I mean by okay is like, he was okay enough that we knew nothing was too severe. And my brother was just, me and my brother were like kind of freaking out. We weren't saying much though. We were in silence, just like pretty much everyone watching the game. And yeah, that's that. And he got taken off on a stretcher. Updates were given about him just being okay out of hospital and just not playing the rest of the series. That's one more thing I was just about to mention. Oh yeah, I thought for a split second too. Because if he was, like, I just thought that because if he was able to move around so easily, that there was a possibility he could have heard or felt something, like, just really awkwardly. Like, you know when you crack your neck and it makes those crack noise? It's possible he could have, I was thinking at first he could have heard those sounds, he could have just felt the sharp pain in the moment, and made the decision that I'm not going to get up, I'm going to stay down, I'm going to wait, I'm going to be safe. But then, now that he's out for the rest of the series, I don't think that was the case. I think he might have a muscle strain, could be whiplash from the incident. Like, we don't know. We'll be sure to get an update soon. And hopefully, like, he's not coming back for the rest of the series, but hopefully we're getting an update on the full injury. And basically, like, 30 seconds after that, Morgan Riley in his own D zone, about 160-foot shot, 150-foot shot, buries an empty net goal, seals the game 3-0. Like I said in the last video, the 5 guys I'm always using on the ice are the guys who I think had the best games in the Leafs. I've already talked about Muzzin and Hall with fantastic D games. And then Kerfoot, like, kept his intensity from the game before, but just upped it by like 10,000. He played so good. It was amazing to watch. And, sorry, I'm getting fumbled up in my words. I'm just so happy with how the boys played. And, yeah, Matthews had a fantastic game, lots of chances. Johnny T, holy crap, this man had like maybe like 9 or 10 shots in front of the net. He was constantly getting cross-checked and beat it on in front of the net, and he kept just sticking with it. He couldn't like score, but he had so many attempts, so many shots. And when he put that breakaway in, Leafs fans, we were all able to be like, oh, we breathed a sigh of relief knowing that after all of his chances, he scored. Captain, or Johnny Toronto, captain of the Leafs, like, you know, it was just amazing. And I'm just gonna hit a little whoop. Alright, that was so useless for the video. But Kerfy, like, kept up his speed, kept up his intensity, but then his line of him, Nick Robertson, and Captain got way more in the rotation. I love to see that. And they were making it work too. They played, I still think they were one of the best lines on the Leafs. They were the best line in game 1 by far, in my opinion. And I believe I could give them like second line spot in this game, as I'm going to give first to the Matthews, Marner, Hyman line. And something that I wished for last video too was that the Leafs would scratch someone and play Engvall. And they scratched Frederick Gauthier, and we didn't see much of Gauthier in the game 1. They weren't in the rotation very much, but the fourth line got played a lot tonight of Kyle Clifford, Jason Spezza, and Pierre Engvall. Pierre Engvall had a great game. The whole fourth line did. especially Clifford's hit at the beginning, which I'll mention again. Just absolutely bodied Kukin or whatever his name is. I don't know if it's the U is before the A. But just, like, it's in the corner here, and he's got his head down, and Clifford just comes in and rails him. And I'm not a big guy that's very much into hitting and fighting in hockey, but holy crap was I ever hyped after that hit. Spets had a good game, except for a penalty he took at the end of the game, which could have cost us, but luckily it didn't. Like, all around for the boys, a great game. Freddie didn't see much action, but sometimes there were a couple tough opportunities. And lots of, people were complaining about, Leafs fans were complaining a bit about the refs not calling a lot in game number 1, because they didn't call that much, to be honest, either. Like I've already mentioned. Sorry, I got, like, some small hiccups right now. They were calling a lot more, and Columbus fans were getting a bit frustrated. But the thing is, Leafs possessed the puck the whole game. They owned the puck. They had it in the offensive zone, in the defensive zone. And Columbus couldn't deal with that strategy. They kept just taking penalties. And taking penalties, and taking penalties. And the Leafs just couldn't capitalize on the power plays, though. We were having great zone entries, great opportunities. It's just Columbus was collapsing the middle, blocking shots. Yeah, that stuff. So, kind of a shorter video today. Hopefully, SteveDangles' video will be in the description down below, just because he goes into way more depth about the actual game, and I go into depth about the strategies and what I think they want. And I think for next game, we just gotta play the exact same, to be honest. We'll be fine. You know, Columbus is about to adapt to how we played in this game, and they're gonna, like, try to force that. But you can still always catch them by surprise, because they knew that we were gonna come out tougher and stronger. And plus, with Muzzin out of the lineup, he's won 2 Stanley Cups. That's a big bite taken out of the Leafs. He said we still do have Kyle Clifford. And the question is now who at least going to put in. You have 2 options, Martin Marincin or Rasmus Sandin. And Martin Marincin has been around the Leafs for a few years now, but he's never been like an NHL defenseman. He's been alright in the Marlies and the minors and stuff, but he's never really shown himself in the NHL. But I think you put in the young Sandin, who's got the skill and can play the minutes. SteveDangles talks about this in way more depth than I'm going to, I believe. And you put him in, but you put Travis Dermott in the place of Muzzin as the penalty killer, because the 2 non-penalty killing defensemen on the Leafs are Tyson Barrie and Travis Dermott. As you have Riley Ceci, Muzz, and Justin Hall always killing those penalties out there. So with Muzzin out of the lineup, you best put in Dermott instead of his spot, but put Sandin into the rotation. And I think, 1, you can give him the experience. 2, he's a hell of a young player. He's got the skill and can play the minutes, like I've already said. He's a very skilled defenseman. I believe he could have a few great offensive shifts and a couple great defensive shifts too, and just really help the team. And I think you keep Gauthier out of the lineup, and Engvall, keep him in the rotation. Play the 4th line a bit more, like they were last night. It was just a great game. Next game is Thursday, August 6th. Right? Yeah, Thursday, August 6th at 8 p.m. And I think I'll be making the video the next morning, because their next game is August 7th, to be determined for the time. And we'll just be able to, like, wait on that. And, yeah, if you guys like to drop a like, tiny channel over here, we're trying to grow. Hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment down below on something you didn't explain. It's either in SteveDangles' video, or I can try to describe it into more depth for you. Another reaction video coming around the 7th. 6th-ish. I might stay up really late and make the video. Yeah, so peace out.